Welcome to another garden segment with Garden2Plate, and I'm Janet Melrose, and I'm a horticultural therapist. And a horticultural therapist, well, I use gardening to improve and to maintain people's health and wellness, both adults and children's. So this session today, this session in the garden, is all going to be about flowers and the bees. Because of course bees are literally the queen pollinators, and so we want to encourage them in our gardens. And it doesn't matter whether we are in a community garden, our backyard, on our balcony, on a patio, even just on your windowsill. We all love those flowers, and we can garden in flowers in containers anywhere we want to. So the first thing we want to do with children is we want to emphasize the role of bees, of course. And there's nothing that talks about bees than making a bee. And so that's what we're going to do first with our children. So what I do usually is they don't do the whole thing. So what I've created is a kit, and the kit includes a round circle, yellow of course, and this and two of these. That's all we need. All right. Then what I like is some wings, because of course bees have wings, right? And if you're a child and if you're an adult, you like googly eyes. So we got googly eyes too. Very easy to do, but what we need to do when we're talking about bees is we talk about the fact that bumblebees in particular, they're fuzzy. They're not like wasps. They're fuzzy and they're friendly. They're docile. They won't sting you unless you basically put your bum right on top of them or step on them. So we want to make our children feel comfortable around bees so that they don't freak out with them and they don't agitate the bees. So by doing this, when we're talking with the children, we talk about the fact that we love bees. We liked bees. So to make our craft, all we do, and here's our sample, okay, is we're going to take this, and these are craft sticks, very easy, and you just have your white glue. And so I'm going to put a little patch here. And I do like using the little guys because that way the children have their own. Okay, so there's our first piece of this puzzle. And smear it around a little bit and let it start to dry. And then what you do, I've got to make sure, whoops, I made a mistake. Okay, actually first you need the legs. Let's put the legs the right way. There. Working with white glue is easy because if you do make a mistake, then there's no big deal. And by the way, when I make these with children, very seldom do they actually come out looking like this. Sometimes the heads are on the top and sometimes they're on the bottom. And you know, you basically got alien bees, and that's okay. That's just fine and dandy. And then the next piece is the head. And like I said, I've had heads like this and here and here and here. But if we're going to do a fairly representative type of bee, we're going to put our head over here. Okay, I'll just let that do its thing for a moment. Okay. Okay, now I just do this, just squish it down a little bit, let it dry for a minute, and now we got our googly eyes. So I'm gonna put a little dab here and a little dab here. Put my glue there. Googly eyes are so much fun. They're better than just, round dots. And you don't even have to have the two eyes the same. All right, so there's our eyes. So of course the last step is to put on your wings, because bees have wings. They have two sets of wings, but we're just using one for today. So just a little bit of glue. Get some glue here. Okay. And if the kids put on too much, then what you do is you just have to let it get them to hold on to the wings for a little while and let them dry. I think I got a little bit too much too. Okay, and so we can just hold on to this, let it dry. So the next step is, of course, bees have stripes. And I've used paint before, but paint just gets messy. So I've taken to using Sharpies now. So first up, we gotta have ourselves a mouth. I don't know, do bees have noses? Of course they have noses. But we won't worry about our nose. Okay. And so we want a nice smile on our bee, because bees are friendly. And we gotta put our stripes on. And like I said, most of the time when I'm doing this with little guys in particular, if they're a little older, we get looking roughly like stripes. But with the younger kids, I've had polka dots. I've had bee stripes going sideways and diagonals and every which way. Doesn't matter. And sometimes the kids will want to put on a little stinger, because of course that's where, if you step on him, he's going to sting you. But most kids, they actually know that when a bee stings you, that it's sacrificing its life to mostly as defense, but for the rest of the colony, of course. So there is our bee for our children, and so there's a reason for just do it. We're not just going to do it. We're going to be using him as well in our garden segment as well when we go on to planting flowers. Because if you're going to have a bee, you got to have flowers, right? All right, so let him dry and then we'll get ready for planting some flowers.